What's going on, everyone? So the Miami Heat missed out on Kevin Durant, although there are a lot of reports that seem to be like they weren't very serious in trying to acquire Kevin Durant. I mean, there were reports that were like, hey, they only like threw their name in the ring just to like appease fans, that they weren't offering anybody, that basically they were like, hey, if you want a first and, you know, some contracts that are long-term, then here you go, that they weren't truly serious. But now there's a lot of talk because they missed out on Kevin Durant of like, hey, Miami might kind of tear this thing down. They didn't want to trade any of their young guys. They want to kind of head in this new direction. And Bam Adebayo could be a guy that is on the block. Bam Adebayo could be a guy that could be had and traded for. He's 27. He'll be 28 next month. So he'll be 28 going to next season. Is he a guy that really wants to stick around and wait long-term for them to kind of figure out and pick a path, right? This is a team that, you know, yes, went on some historic runs, but they did that with Jimmy Butler and playoff Jimmy. They don't have Jimmy Butler and playoff Jimmy. They didn't get a guy to really replace him. Andrew Wiggins is, you know, a solid piece, but he's a guy that, you know, is more your third, fourth, fifth guy. Tyler Hero, he's great, but is he your number one guy? Bam is not really a number one guy. He's probably best as like your second or third guy, right? Like you kind of go down the list and it's like, they're going to have to make some changes. They're going to have to make some moves. And Bam Adebayo could be a guy to get them the pieces and assets. Well, Bam Adebayo issue is his contract, right? So this is a guy that this upcoming season is going in a new contract, right? In 2026, 2027, he's going to make $51 million, $55 million, and then $59 million as estimated projections for the contract, in which he signed 3 years, $165 million. His current contract, though, is $37 million for the 2025-2026 season, right? So they're going to have to figure some stuff out. Is this something that they want to do long term? Are they looking to maybe trade Adebayo? Well, the Lakers, of course, are now at the top of the list. According to Bovada, who make all these like prediction lists and stuff like that, betting lists and whatnot, they have the Lakers as the team at the top, most likely to land Bam Adebayo if he is to be traded. Couple things about this. One, these sites always use the Lakers. Like, there is almost never a time where the Lakers aren't on that list in some way, some capacity. Usually they're more towards the top. Even if they're not the favorite team, they're usually in the top like 3 to 4. And also, Bam Adebayo, I don't think and know if Pat Riley would trade Bam Adebayo. 2, I don't know if he'd trade him to the Lakers, right? Especially with LeBron on the Lakers. And 3, I don't even think the Lakers would, you know, if Bam Adebayo became on the market, he would be sought after. Teams would want Bam Adebayo. And the Lakers just don't have the assets. I mean, you even have teams, I mean, OKC could be like, hey, we want him. San Antonio, want him. Houston could still be like, hey, let's go get Bam Adebayo and put him next to, you know, Amen, Katie, and, you know, Şengün, right? And trade a bunch of young guys, be like, hey, here's more foundation people, right? Like, so, again, you look at the situation. Lakers is Austin Reeves, a first, and Dalton Connect as like the core package. You throw in a Rui Hachimura and then maybe like a Shake Milton or whatever to get to the finances, right? Is that enough to convince them to trade Bam Adebayo to you? I don't think so. I don't, right? Stranger things have happened. You never know. Maybe Bam kind of causes a little ruckus and a stir and says like, you know, hey, I only want to go to the Lakers. I want to go play with Luka and LeBron. You know, maybe that's something. Even if he does, I still think teams would still go trade for him. I still think Miami would look to trade him. I could even see Miami maybe taking a slightly worse offer in order to not have to trade him to the Lakers. Because again, it's not like the Lakers have this like plethora. If they had like multiple picks, all right, if it was like, hey, here's Reeves, Connect, and, you know, 3 or 4 firsts, right, Rui Hachimura for salary fill, then yeah, maybe I could see them getting that move. But I don't think they have enough. What are they going to do? Oh, here's, you know, Connect, Reeves, you know, maybe you could turn guys in, right? Like maybe you could turn Reeves into multiple firsts, right? What is his value, especially after the Bam trade? Maybe you could turn him into, because you have to trade him anyway, right? So maybe you could turn him into like 3 first-round picks, and now you have 4 firsts with Dalton Connect, Rui, and then, you know, you add in Maxi Kleba and something, and now you can go get, you know, for Bam Adebayo, sure. that could be something. So maybe the Lakers have to get creative in how they do that. But also if they want Austin Reeves, right? What does Miami want and looking for in a Bam trade? Are they looking for a bunch of young players? Are they looking for a bunch of assets and picks, right? Like, you got to find out what that is. But look, if there is a way to get Bam Adebayo, you go get Bam Adebayo. Right? It's that simple. He's the guy that gives you everything you need. Gives you offensive versatility, gives you that defensive presence, right? Gives you shot blocker. He was playing more 4 because of Khalil Ware, but there was some awkwardness to that, right? He is a guy because he's played 5 basically his entire career, that he is most comfortable at the 5, but you saw his versatility and his ability to slot in and play the 4 also. So I like that ability to where if you do get another big, which you'd still need to get another big, right? Like let's say you go and get a, Clint Capella, right? Well, if you go get a Bam Adebayo, right? Well, you can start Bam and LeBron as your front court, and then, at times go with like Bam Adebayo and like a Clint Capella, because Bam Adebayo, particularly this season, showed his ability to stretch the floor, knock down the 3 ball with some more consistency. Kind of fits the timeline and the future. It's a guy you'd have for the next, 6+ years, right? So kind of gives you that ability and that capability, versatile defender, guy that can protect the rim, defend in space, defend the pick and roll. He's basically, a souped up Nick Claxton, right? Which the Lakers are really interested in, right? He's a guy that gives you that defensive array, defensive versatility, but also gives you the offense that Nick Claxton just doesn't give you, right? Where Nick Claxton, the reason so many people are so high on Nick Claxton is his defensive versatility, his ability to, defend multiple positions, defend in space, block, protect the rim, all of that. And Bam Adebayo actually is a good rebounder. Like one of the things with like Jaren Jackson Jr. I've talked about, although if I'm being honest, I probably prefer Jaren Jackson Jr., but right, one of the things and concerns with Jaren Jackson Jr. is the lack of rebounding. He's not this like excellent rebounder, where Bam is a guy that go get you, 10 rebounds a game. So he can rebound, defend, hit shots. He wouldn't be self-reliant on Luka, which is good, where like a Nick Claxton is going to be very reliant on Luka to generate offense for him, which is fine. That's what Luka likes to do. And that guy is always a threat. But Bam is a guy that when Luka's off the court, right, on the bench, or if he gets the night off or whatever, Bam is a guy that can just go get you buckets, right? He can initiate the offense, run the offense a little bit, right? He gives you that versatility that as far as the big man goes, that we just don't really have, that we really lack right now, which I think would be excellent, right? You look at a guy like a Bam Adebayo and a Triple J. Like the reason I like those guys, like those are kind of the closest things you could get to adding like an Anthony Davis to this team. Obviously, neither of those guys are Anthony Davis, but again, just the versatility on both sides of the basketball, I really like. But again, I think it's very unlikely that the Lakers land a Bam Adebayo. But if you can get him, then you get him. Right? Now, he isn't a true 7-footer. That's something that's important to keep in mind. He is 6'9". He is 255, which is good. So he's got good size, good strength, good weight. But he is 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan. So for those that are like, I really want a true 7-footer, you got to keep that in mind, that he's not really a true 7-footer, but he's fine. Again, he'd be more than enough. He'd be excellent. Also, he wouldn't have to be your best or second best player, which is a big thing, right? Like he would be your third option. So Bam and Jimmy Butler were able to get to multiple finals with Bam as their second best player. What does he look like when he's your third best player behind LeBron and Luka Doncic? Well, I guess Luka and LeBron, right? But look at what he's done, right? Another good thing is he plays. That's very important, right? From the start of his career, 69 games, 82 games, 72 games, 64 games, right? 56 games, not great, but 75, 71, 78. So he's had 2 seasons in which he's had under 65 games. Other than that, he's basically been a 70-plus game a night guy, which is great. You want, right? Best ability is availability. And Bam is a guy that is available. But 78 games played, 78 games started last year, 34.3 minutes per game. Took 14.3 field goal attempts per game, shot 48.5% from the floor. So good thing is he is a guy that for his career is an 11, right? The last 3 seasons he shot basically 14 to 15 field goals a game, 13 in 2021, 2022, right? So reason I bring that up, and I think that that's important, is because that's probably roughly what he's going to get on a Laker team that has Luka and LeBron. right? So you got to keep that in mind. He's not going to get 20 field goal attempts per game. So if he's a guy that's getting 20 on one team, comes to Lakers, you got to keep in mind his production is going to go down because he's only getting X amount of shots. Well, good thing is I don't think his production would go down because I think he'd get roughly the same amount of attempts, right? You look at like Austin Reeves' attempts. If you trade Austin Reeves to get Bam, Bam's probably getting close, if not as much or more than that. So just things to kind of keep in mind. But 48.5% from the field on those 14 attempts. He shot 35.7% from three-point range, so just under 36%. But on 2.8 attempts, which is by far, and I mean by far, the most attempts he's ever taken, right? So every season, he has taken either 0.1 or 0.2, except for the 2023-2024 season. So not last season, but the previous season. But he took 0.6 attempts. He did shoot 35.7%. Well, he ended up going from 0.6 attempts to 2.8 attempts, shot 35.7%, which was the same as the previous year on 0.6 attempts. Reason that that's important is because you see a lot of guys that like, yeah, on 0.6 attempts, they're 35, 36%, but on like 2 attempts, they're like 18%. No, he was very good shooting the 3 ball for a big man, so he gives you the floor spacing ability, which is good. 2-point range, 51.7% on 11.4 attempts. EFG of 52.1%. Free throw percentage, 76.5%, so good free throw shooter. He is a career 75.6%. 9.6 rebounds. He is a career 9 rebound a game guy, but 9.6 rebounds, including 2.4 offensive rebounds, 4.3 assists, 1.3 steals, just under a full block, and 18.1 points per game. So again, if you can get Bam Adebayo, go get Bam Adebayo. I think realistically, the Lakers are probably not going to be able to get him. But if there is a way, there is a path to acquire him, go get him, right? Because that also would give you a guy alongside Luka in a post-LeBron era, right? So you probably have about 2 seasons of LeBron, and then you'd have like basically 2 seasons without LeBron with Bam as your guy. It kind of gives you time to kind of figure that out, put some pieces around him, and find out like, hey, is this the guy we're going to continue to go forward as he starts getting into his later years, or maybe even look to flip him at some point when LeBron leaves. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions. As always, this is a discussion, so pass a question to you. Let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So if you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.